Today I'm wearing a tropical themed shirt at work as I'm going on vacation for the next 2 weeks. Well, actually it's a staycation as we're remaining home, but I'm still going to wear my vacation duds and enjoy some home-based adventures. Starting Monday the 6th through Monday the 20th, I'll be gone, so to speak. I'll still be preaching at worship services, having video recorded my sermons for the Sundays of the 12th and the 19th, and those will also be posted on the church website and on our Facebook page. These devotions will return and begin again on Tuesday the 21st. And until then, I might suggest you read daily from the book of Joshua, as it has much to teach us. Remember, in this book, we're reading how Joshua delivers his people into the promised land, and as such, we can learn a great deal about the price Jesus bore to grant us deliverance into the promised land of heaven with God our Father. Now, as to today's devotion from Joshua chapter 10, there's the extraordinary event where the sun stands still because Joshua asked God for that to happen so he could have success in defeating certain enemies. And God granted this, as we're told in verse 14, which reads, "There has been no day like it before or since, when the Lord heeded the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel." While there are no other days like this one that Joshua tells us of, yet in the history of the world there have been many extraordinary days. And today, July 4th, is one of those extraordinary days. It's the day when we declared our independence as a nation. We came to this declaration so that we could determine our own course and live with the freedoms we were willing to fight and die for. And make no mistake, that declaration cost dearly to sustain. And while we have extraordinary freedoms as a nation, for which we do give thanks to God for leading us into, yet our freedom in Christ from the tyranny of sin cost an even greater price on yet another extraordinary day. We call that day Good Friday because it's the day Christ bore the defeat of death for the sin of all people. And on that day, rather than the sun standing still as it did in the lesson from Joshua today, Luke 23:44 and 45 tells us, "It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon, for the sun stopped shining." This time the sun didn't stop, the sun stopped shining. What another extraordinary day. On that day, Christ was stripped of his life, that we might be clothed in his righteousness and everlasting life. And his resurrection 3 days later on Easter was the victory that secured our freedom to cross over into the promised land of life eternal with God. What an extraordinary day that will be for all of us. God's peace be with you today. Talk to you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.